Apple's first foldable iPhone is starting to look more real than ever, and if the latest leaks are even close to accurate, the iPhone Ultra Fold could be Apple's biggest iPhone design shift since the very first iPhone. According to current rumors, Apple is planning its foldable debut around 2026, likely launching it alongside the iPhone 18 lineup. And while foldables aren't new, Samsung and Google have been refining them for years, Apple doesn't usually enter a category early. Apple enters when it believes it can redefine the experience. So the real question is, will the iPhone Ultra Fold be the foldable that finally makes this category mainstream for iPhone users? Or will its late arrival and rumored $2,000 price tag make it a luxury device for a small group of power users? Let's break down everything leaked so far. Design, displays, Hinge, performance, battery, cameras, iOS foldable features, and the biggest challenges Apple will face against Samsung's Galaxy Z Fold and Google's Pixel Fold. First, the headline: the iPhone Ultra Fold is rumored to be a book-style foldable, meaning it opens like a small tablet. That's the same general approach as the Galaxy Z Fold series, rather than a flip phone-style fold like the Galaxy Z Flip. And Apple being Apple, the leaks suggest this won't be a bulky first attempt. Instead, the iPhone Ultra Fold is expected to focus on an ultra-thin premium build, possibly borrowing design cues from Apple's Air philosophy: lighter, slimmer, more refined. Material rumors point to a titanium and aluminum mix, which makes sense. Titanium has already become part of Apple's premium language on Pro models, and aluminum keeps weight down. For a foldable, where comfort and weight matter more than ever, this combo could be a key part of Apple's strategy. But the most important part of any foldable isn't the metal or the finish, it's the hinge. The hinge is where foldables win, or lose. It controls durability, thickness, how flat the device opens, and, most importantly, how visible the crease is. One of the biggest recurring complaints about current foldables is that inner display crease. It's not always a deal breaker, but once you notice it, you can't unsee it, especially when watching content or scrolling under bright light. Leaks suggest Apple is working on an advanced hinge system specifically designed to reduce or nearly eliminate that visible crease while improving long-term durability. If Apple can genuinely deliver a cleaner inner screen without sacrificing reliability, that alone could become the iPhone Ultra Fold's defining feature. Because Apple doesn't need to be the first foldable. Apple needs to be the foldable people trust. Now let's talk displays, because this is where the iPhone Ultra Fold could feel like two devices in one. Rumors point to a nearly bezel-less inner display around 7.8 inches. That's basically a pocket iPad mini experience, perfect for media, multitasking, reading, editing, and productivity workflows. On the outside, there's reportedly a 5.3-inch cover display. That size suggests Apple is aiming for true one-handed usability. Quick replies, calls, maps, music, notifications, and even short-form content, without forcing you to open the phone every single time. If Apple gets the aspect ratios right, this could be a huge usability win. Some foldables feel too tall and narrow on the outer screen. If Apple goes with a wider, more comfortable layout, the cover display could feel like a real phone instead of a compromise. And that brings us to the next major leak: performance. Under the hood, the iPhone Ultra Fold is rumored to run Apple's next-generation A20 chip. If the naming holds, that would likely place it right where Apple wants it: flagship-class performance built for heavy tasks, advanced imaging, and next-level efficiency. Because a foldable isn't just a bigger screen, it's a multitasking machine. Leaks suggest at least 12 GB of RAM, which is a big deal in iPhone terms. More RAM means smoother multitasking, better pro workflows, and more headroom for AI features, especially if Apple pushes on-device intelligence further by 2026. Storage is rumored to start at 256 GB, which is exactly what you'd expect for a premium ultra-tier product, especially one designed for content creation and productivity. But the most interesting part, maybe the most important part for everyday users, is the battery. Battery life can make or break a foldable experience. You're powering a big inner display, a cover display, 5G, high brightness, and heavier multitasking. And many foldables feel like you're always managing battery anxiety. That's why this next leak matters. The iPhone Ultra Fold is rumored to pack a battery between $5,000 and $5,500 MIUI, potentially the largest battery ever in an iPhone. If Apple pairs that with the efficiency of an A20 class chip and smart iOS optimization, the Ultra Fold could become one of the best battery performers in the foldable category, and that's a potential competitive advantage. Because even premium foldables sometimes struggle to deliver all-day confidence when you use the big screen heavily. Now let's move to another area where Apple rarely compromises: cameras. Foldables often focus so much on screens and hinges that cameras become secondary. Apple won't allow that, especially if this device is rumored to cost around $2,000. Leaks suggest a dual 48-megapixel rear camera setup. That likely means Apple would focus on high-quality main and ultra-wide performance, computational photography, and strong video, rather than stacking multiple lower-quality sensors. On the front, rumors mention two 18-megapixel selfie cameras, potentially one optimized for cover screen use and another for inner screen video calls, meetings, and content creation. That actually makes a lot of practical sense for a foldable. You could take calls on the outer display like a normal phone, then open it for a laptop-style meeting experience, notes, or presentation viewing. And if Apple leans into augmented reality and spatial features by 2026, a foldable form factor could become a powerful canvas for AR apps, creative tools, and immersive experiences. But hardware is only half the story. Apple's real weapon is software. The iPhone Ultra Fold is rumored to run iOS 27, potentially a foldable optimized version of iOS designed specifically to take advantage of two screens and a larger inner display. And this is where Apple could separate itself from the pack. Because Apple doesn't just build a phone, Apple builds an ecosystem. Leaks suggest iOS 27 foldable features could include improved app resizing, smoother transitions between cover and inner screen, and iPad-like multitasking features, meaning split screen, floating windows, better drag and drop, and productivity enhancements that feel native rather than forced. Imagine opening the phone and instantly having Messages on one side and Safari on the other, notes and a PDF side-by-side, a video call running, while you review a document, a full-width editing interface for photos and video. If Apple brings iPad-level multitasking polish to a foldable iPhone, it could finally deliver what people have wanted from foldables for years. A phone that turns into a genuinely useful mini-tablet, not just a bigger screen for the same apps. And because it's Apple, you can also expect the ecosystem angle. Handoff. Between iPhone Ultra Fold and Mac, AirDrop workflows, iCloud syncing, continuity features, and tight app optimization from day one, especially from major developers. But even if Apple nails the design, power, and software, there's one massive obstacle: timing. By 2026, Samsung will be deep into multiple generations of foldable refinement. Google will likely be several Pixel Fold generations in, and other brands will continue pushing hardware forward aggressively. That means Apple can't show up with a good first foldable. Apple has to show up with a foldable that feels inevitable, like it was worth waiting for. And then there's the second obstacle: price. The rumored $2,000 price tag puts the iPhone Ultra Fold firmly in ultra-premium territory. That's not just expensive, that's laptop money.